Good evening and welcome to Tuesday 6-1.
The headlines this evening. Taoiseach condemns Coolock violence, saying it had nothing to do with protest or community engagement.
It was the hijacking of a situation by a group of people who engaged in utter thuggery.
A rapturous welcome for a bandaged Donald Trump at the Republican convention in Wisconsin.
The US says civilian casualties are unacceptably high as Israeli strikes continue across Gaza.
And a life sentence for a man who habitually raped his wife over 25 years.
Taoiseach Simon Harris has said no amount of community engagement could have prevented the violence and vandalism that unfolded in Coolock in Dublin yesterday. The disturbances erupted outside a disused paint factory designated as accommodation for international protection applicants. The Garda Commissioner, Drew Harris, has rejected suggestions that Gardaí took too long to bring the situation under control after the GRA criticised the time it took to deploy the public order unit to the scene.
And in Tuesday evening sports news, we'll have the very latest from Cork, where the Republic of Ireland women's team are taking on France. And the same old tune, no change at the top of the overall standings after today's stage of the Tour de France.
Welcome back to 6-1. The main news again this evening, Taoiseach Simon Harris.
In Souls.
So over here, for example, you can see, a view of O'Connell's original resting place, how it looks now out the window, of course, but then also how it looked at the turn of the 20th century. And then we also have drone footage as well, which show the, beauty of Ireland's national cemetery from a height.
The cemetery was originally established in 1832 by Daniel O'Connell, so it's important to the Trust that his crypt, which is at the bottom of the tower, is now more welcoming to visitors.
So what you'll find as you go through into the crypt, you'll see that O'Connell's coffin, the inside of the crypt is really well lit now. The coffin is in lead lined, and then it's housed in a sarcophagus, which is black granite. It's supposed to be a very good look, Evelyn, to touch the coffin on the way up, so you should give it a go.
So when you've climbed to the top, climbed all 198 steps from today with this new visitor experience, it should be an easier job because they distract you now with a bit of information along the way. And when you get to the top, the views really are worth it. Evelyn O'Rourke, RT News, Glasnevin.
Now over to Eamon for all the day sports news.
Thanks indeed, Eileen. Good evening to you. While the Republic of Ireland women's team are currently in action against France, Eileen Gleeson's side are up against the number 2 ranked side in the world in Cork in their Euro qualifier. The Republic have yet to win a game in the group. That game kicked off at 6 o'clock. Ireland have had the best of the chances, but it remains 0-0 at half-time on Lee's side. Gareth Southgate has resigned as England manager following their defeat to Spain in Sunday's European Championship final. The 53-year-old managed England for 102 matches during his 8 years in charge. He led his country to successive European Championship finals as well as the semi-finals of the 2018 World Cup. The man who couldn't stop Ray Houghton's header gave his view.
He's done very well. He's got us to, finals of competitions. And I think he realises that, it's probably his time to go and give somebody else a chance. And he's done it in typical of Gareth, very classy, direct way. He's not messed around. He probably made his mind up as soon as the final whistle went, or even before that if they didn't win it. So, yeah, well done, Gareth. And now the search starts.
Peter Shilton there. Now, some of the world's top golfers have been getting in some practice before the Open gets underway. Royal Troon will be the venue for the 152nd Open. Much of the focus, for us at least, will be on Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry. The Offaly man is a former champion, and after winning the Claret Jug once, he's now hoping to close in on it for a second time.
Yes, I suppose it does. You look at the Claret Jug, you walk past it in the Players Lounge, and you know your name's on it. It's pretty cool. But it makes you want it more. Even I think some people might say, "Oh, well, you've got one now." Well, but you always want to, because you've tasted that success. It kind of makes you want it even more. So, but yeah, look, I know. The one thing I do know is I know if I put myself there that I can get it done. So it's all about just trying to put myself there for Saturday and Sunday.
The game's in really good shape. Had a nice reset after Pinehurst that was needed, and felt like I shook off a little bit of the rust last week and played. I felt like I probably could have given myself more of a chance to win the tournament, but thought it was a solid week and again, it's like one eye on preparing for this week, but another eye on trying to, get into contention as well. But overall, I've been in the UK now for a couple of weeks, and it's felt nice to get back over here and get back into the swing of things.
Now, Ireland's Sam Bennett was to the fore in today's stage of the Tour de France. The Carrick and Shore rider was fourth. Stage honours going to Jasper Philipsen. There's still no change at the top of the overall standings. Tadej Pogacar remains in the yellow jersey. The Tour finishes up on Sunday in Nice. Philipsen was well pleased with his day's work.
Yeah, really happy. Definitely offers such a team effort. It's always nice when you can win together. And I think that's what we did definitely today.
It's just 10 days now until the Paris Olympics get underway. The Irish men's hockey team are among those hoping for success in the French capital. For goalkeeper David Hart, it's a second trip to the biggest sporting stage, and he on his experience.
Your first Olympic Games is a fantastic experience, but your second one will be better. So I think looking back and going, being able to just impart some knowledge or advice onto the other players around. There's only two of us who have been obviously into Rio and competed there, myself and Shane. So we have a bit of an insight what it's like, of course, and to try and give a good picture and an image of what it's actually like competing at an Olympic Games, at a multi-sport event, and not just a hockey tournament, and some kind of ideas of what they can expect when they get over there. But personally, I can't wait to get back into that arena.
And that's all your sports news for now, so it's all yours again, David.
Thanks very much, Ewan.
Good evening, you're welcome. Tonight at 9. Garda Public Order Unit clears latest protest from site earmarked for international protection applicants in Coolock and Dublin. Donald Trump takes centre stage at Republican National Convention as party unites behind their presidential nominee mere days after his attempted assassination. Irish Thalidomide Association say they're still waiting on an apology. They reject a letter of regret from government along with healthcare support package.
The letter from the government doesn't even mention the word apology. It actually doesn't mention it. It offers tea and sympathy.
And time to explore new options and opportunities. Former Taoiseach Leo Varadkar confirms he won't be standing in the next general election. Dozens of protesters have been cleared by the Garda Public Order Unit from the site of a disused paint factory in Coolock in Dublin, earmarked to accommodate international protection applicants. The Malahide Road was the scene of violent disturbances yesterday, with protests continuing up until the last half hour. The GRA, representing rank and file Gardaí, criticised the policing operation yesterday and the delay in deploying the Garda Public Order Unit, a claim rejected by the Garda Commissioner.
Vivian Traynor, RTE News, at the Central Criminal Court.
And if you've been affected by the content of Vivian's report, help is available at rte.ie/helplines. Still to come on the 9 o'clock news, girls in green end their Euro qualifying campaign on a high, beating France 3-1 in Cork. And a new visitor experience opens in the historic O'Connell Tower at Dublin's Glasnevin Cemetery.
Think about when this government took over, there were no affordable homes being delivered.
The government also agreed today to legislate for a new building standards regulator. Housing remains one of the most sensitive issues for the government. However, the housing minister today was unable to give a commitment that the level of homelessness would fall before the general election. Sandra Hurley, RTE News, Leinster House.
The Irish Thalidomide Association has rejected a letter from the government saying it did not amount to an apology for what happened to its members. It's also criticised a package of healthcare supports as inadequate. The Taoiseach today said that the government had not ruled out a state apology and has invited the association to a meeting next week.
The drug thalidomide first became available in the late 50s for sleeping problems and morning sickness, but later became linked to birth defects. It was eventually withdrawn. There are around 40 thalidomide survivors here, and today the Irish Thalidomide Association rejected a letter from the government it received last week on extra supports. The association said it did not amount to an apology for what happened to its members.
The letter from the government.
In its letter to the association, the government set out an additional package of healthcare supports, plus the free travel pass. But campaigners say it's inadequate, is not set up on a statutory basis, and that there's never been a fair compensation scheme.
When asked about a state apology today, the Taoiseach said he is not ruling anything out and hopes to meet the association next week.
I think it's very important that the letter that was issued and signed by the three party leaders, the three coalition party leaders, is an invite to come and talk. And the letter very much says that the letter is actually accompanied by an invite to come here to government buildings next week. And I very much look forward to meeting with them, to talking with them in person. I think they deserve that.
The association says Ireland acknowledges 28 of the 40 thalidomide survivors and that the remaining 12 must be included in any plans. Fergal Bowers, RTE News.
In the Middle East, more than 50 people have been killed in separate strikes across the Strip today, according to Gaza officials. Israeli forces have stepped up their bombardment of the Strip, but have faced renewed criticism from the United States over the high number of civilian casualties from this war. Meanwhile, Israel claims it's eliminated half of the Hamas leadership in the enclave. Some sports news now. The Republic of Ireland women's soccer team have ended their Euro qualifying campaign on a high. Eileen Gleeson's side beat France 3-1. They now go into Friday's playoff draw.
As wins go, this one was worth waiting for. Jubilant scenes on Leeside as the Republic of Ireland women's team savour a famous win over one of the world's top teams. France, who made sweeping changes to their lineup, were on the ropes when Denise O'Sullivan opened the scoring. Julianne Russell kept the home side on course for a memorable triumph.
That supporting midfield, O'Sullivan over the top for Julianne Russell, who's got the step on De Almeida here. Julianne Russell!
The French, ranked number 2 in the international standings, managed to pull one back, but the girls in green continue to control this Cork encounter.
Just to settle any nerves there might be. Connolly, great ball!
Incredible. I mean, I'm so proud of the girls. I'm so proud of everyone. That their work rate was fantastic. You know, I thought in the first half we'd, create two or three chances that we should have done better with the decision making. But the effort up front, Julianne, Leanne, I mean, it was incredible. And yeah, what a result.
By the banks of the Lee, it is the best night yet for Irish women's football. Eamon Horan, RTE News.
Before we go, a new visitor experience has opened in the historic O'Connell Tower at Dublin's Glasnevin Cemetery.